We're going to talk here for about 5 to 10 minutes, and then we're actually going to do some refereeing. Everybody here is going to referee today, okay? How this generally works is you come, I've had two people, Marilyn's one and John Bokovich is the other one, that have only come to one class, and then they decided to referee. So don't be, we don't push you into doing stuff that you don't want to do. My biggest fear before I came to the villages was talking in front of people. And I mean, my wife will attest to that. I would rather do anything but get in front of people and talk. And it's just doing it so many times. It's just like refereeing. Once you've done it so many times, it becomes very, very easy. So don't be upset if you don't get everything right away. Like I say, I've only had two people, and we've got probably 40 people that have gone through this course. Only two people have taken it one time and decided they want to go ahead and ref. When we start playing out here, we're going to be playing on two courts. The players on court, and you're going to be on court too, we're going to ask you to intentionally mess up. We're going to ask you to intentionally foot fault on the serve, to intentionally switch places, for the wrong server to serve, to violate the two-bounce rule, to be in the kitchen. Anything that you want to do, go ahead and do. And that's to train our referees better. There will be more bad things happen, more faults happen in one game than you'll probably see in a whole week of reffing. And we do that because here it's much, much tougher than actually out in the real world. So once you get out in the real world, it's much easier. So usually you come to at least 2 classes. Some people come to 3, some people come to 4. And we don't push you. After that, we have you shadow ref, which means at an actual tournament, there'll be a veteran referee there, and he'll be the referee. You'll be standing right next to him, and you'll be shadowing everything he does. Okay, just to give you the experience of what it's like to referee a real tournament. Once you feel that you've qualified, that you're ready for the next step, you switch positions. You're the actual referee, but you will have a veteran referee standing next to you, whispering in your ear for anything that you may need. If you forget the score, if you forget who's serving, if the veteran referee sees the wrong person serving, he'll just whisper in your ear, wrong person serving, whisper what the score is, to make it very, very simple for you to just transition into refereeing on your own. The next step is that you just ref on your own. So those are generally the steps that you're going to undertake to be a referee. So if everyone wants to come in a little bit close here, I'm going to show you the USAPA score sheet. Start on the score sheet and how that works. When you get the score sheet as a referee, first thing you want to do is look at the back of it and see if there's already a 1 or a 2 on it. If there's not, go ahead and put a 1 or 2 on there. That's what we used for the coin toss. Instead of having to carry a coin around or whatever, we just ask the people 1 or 2 on the back of the sheet. So when you get to the court, go up to the players, introduce yourself, tell them you're going to be the referee for their match, then pick any person at random and ask them to give you 1 or a 2. If they're correct, they get choice of side, serve, or receive. Very few people take receive. They're either going to take side or serve. So when the one team decides whether they want to do side, serve, or receive, okay, then you go to the other team and find out what they want to do. If the team that won the toss wants to serve, then you ask the other team, which side do you want? Okay? If the winning team says, we want this side, then you ask the other team, do you want to serve or receive? We've got things like timeouts, 1 minute, between games, 2 minutes, injury timeout, 15 minutes max, once per player per match. When the players do take a timeout, you'll go ahead and circle it here. Timeout 1, timeout 2. This is the first game here. This is the second game. This is the third game if you're playing 2 out of 3 to 11. When they do take a timeout, ask them to ground their paddles, and whoever's serving, the ball should be underneath that person's paddle, so that when they come back from the 1 minute timeout, they know exactly where to go, they don't have to ask you, and they know who the server is going to be. One of the jobs of the referee is to keep track of who's serving and to make sure the players are on the correct side. So it's up to you to notice whether or not the correct person serving and whether or not they're on the right side. If they're not, you are not allowed to correct them unless asked. If asked, then you have to put them in the correct order. So if the players look over to you and say, "Ref, am I serving?" or "Ref, are we in the correct order?" you have to give them the answer and give them the correct answer. If they don't ask you, what will happen is if the incorrect serving team is either in the incorrect position or the incorrect server is serving, as soon as they touch the ball, you call fault. Okay? If it's the receiving team that's in the incorrect order, the serving team will serve, and you have to wait until the receiving team touches the ball before you call fault. So it's not a fault until the incorrect person returns the ball. One of your main jobs is to watch for foot faults on the serve and in the non-volley zone. We teach you not to look for line calls. There's a reason for that. When you're watching the game, you should be watching the player's feet, not the ball. When they're up at the non-volley zone, hitting the ball, you want to be watching their feet, not the ball. So when the ball goes out, it's very rare that you're going to be able to overrule a call. If you see an incorrect call made, you're not allowed to do any facial expressions, communicate in any way that an incorrect call was made. You have to wait for the other team to ask you, "Ref, did you see that? Ref, do you agree?" And you're usually going to say, "Sorry, I didn't see it." If you did see it, then you're going to tell them what you saw. Per USAPA rules, that ball is out. This is not tennis where the side of the ball has to touch the line. The bottom of the ball actually has to touch the line, and that ball is out. If you come over here and get down, you can clearly see that there's color between that ball and the white line. So that ball is out. It's a close call, but if you or a player are standing right above that ball, it's not that hard to see. Okay. When you're reffing, you're going to stand on the side of the net post that the serving team is serving from. So right now, this team is serving. When it's a side out, you stand over on this side. A lot of the things that are taught are to help you that if there's a distraction, if a bomb goes off, no matter what happens, you can tell what's going on. So I know that if I'm standing on this side of the court, this is the serving team. Another thing that you're going to learn is when it's server number 1, you should have one finger on the clipboard. When it's server number 2, you should have 2 fingers on the clipboard. Again, that's just to help you that if something happens, loud bang, somebody falls on the court right behind you, you'll know that because you've got 2 fingers on the clipboard, it's on server number 2. Okay? The sequence of the referee is that I'm standing on this side, so this team is serving. I look over and I look at the receiver to see that the receiver's ready. Once I see the receiver's ready, I look back at the server, I look at the server's feet, and I say the score. Okay? That's every time, that's the sequence should be. Look at the receiver, see the receiver's ready, look back, look at the server, look at the server's feet, say the score. When the server serves, you continue to watch his feet to make sure he does not foot fault on the serve. Okay? At the end of every rally, you will say one of 3 things, assuming that there's not a let, not a ball on court. But at the end of every rally, you will either say point, second server, or side out. Side out means second server has already served, the serving team has messed up, and now you're going to go to the other side. Okay? So, when you're standing on this side, you want to orient the clip towards the serving team, and their names should be at the top. So right now we've got Bill and Joe. I'm standing on this side of the net. Clipboard's pointed towards them, so Bill and Joe are the serving team. Once there's a side out, I'm going to flip the clipboard over 180 degrees. I have Sue and Jan on here, and I'm going to move over to this side and put one finger on the clipboard. Okay? The USAPA score sheet is extremely good in helping you referee. The only thing that it doesn't tell you is, you know because of the score, that even an odd score, where everybody should be. If the serving team has an even score, then the start server, the person with the armband that started the game, should be on this side of the court. If they have an odd score, they should be on the far side of the court. Okay? So there's 3 methods that we've developed or we've learned in order to tell which of the 2 people is serving. You know which side they should be on. You know if it's server number 1 or 2 because of the numbers on the clip or your fingers on the clipboard. But that doesn't tell you which one of the 2 players is serving. So if they ask you, or while you're mulling it over your head, which person's supposed to be serving, you do one of 3 methods. The first method is what's called the hash mark method. And everybody should do this no matter which method that they pick. You can see here, these people have scored this team has scored 2 points. Then when there's a side out, every time there's a side out, you put a hash mark. You can see this team here, they scored 3 points, then there was a side out. They scored 2 more points, side out. They scored 4 points, then another side out. So if right now the score is 9, 2, 1, because you've got 1 finger on the clipboard, you know the score is 9, 2, 1. You know you're on server number 1. You know because the players have 9 points that the start server should be over on the left-hand side of the court. Not the side that he started on, but on the left-hand side of the court. So, you don't know which of the 2 is serving, you can look up here. You're going to use one of these 2 sentences right here. This sentence here, or this sentence here that are highlighted. Right now, these players have 9 points, and they have a hash mark past the 9. So the hash mark is past an odd number. This sentence says hash mark past an even number, so we're not going to use that sentence. We're going to use this sentence here that says hash mark past an odd number, because that's what it is. The hash mark is either going to be past an even number or an odd number. So right now we're going to use this sentence here. Hash mark past an odd number. We know that we're on the number 1 server, so the start server's partner, the person that did not start the game, is the player that is going to be serving correctly right now. Okay? Let's do another example. These people have, now we're going to, for the sake of this example, we're going to say it's on server number 2. Okay? Because I got 2 fingers on the clipboard. The hash mark is past an even number this time. It doesn't matter how many circles you got here. What you look at is the last hash mark. Hash mark past an even number. So this time we're going to use this sentence right here, hash mark past an even number. And we're on 2, we're not on 1, we're on 2. So again, the start server's partner, the person that did not start the game, is the correct server at this point in this example. A little bit complicated, but we've added this wording up here to help you make a quicker decision when you have to. Okay, the second method that you can use is the clothespin method. You see there's a 1 on one side and a 2 on the other. So this team is Sue and Jan. So if Sue is serving right now and she's the number 1 server, the clipboard would look like that. Once Sue messes up, you're going to switch over, put it on Jan, and now you know Jan's number 2 server. Same way over here. You can start off with Joe, number 1 server. If Joe's in the serving position on the side out, that's how you would put the clothespin, right on Joe. Once Joe's team messes up, you would switch to number 2 and on Bill. Okay, the third method that we've developed is kind of using your feet like you do your fingers on the clipboard. If there's a side out and the person that started the game, the person with the clipboard, is the person that now is the correct server, when I walk to the other side, I will put my left foot out. You'll notice that I have a wristband on my left foot. That's to help remind me that whenever this foot is forward, the person with the armband should be serving. Conversely, when it goes to the start server's partner, this foot will be out, the foot without the armband. So, if you can go ahead and leave it down. If there's a side out, and I walk over to this side, and this team's score is an odd number, I will start over here with 1 finger on the clipboard and my right foot out. the right foot is out is because if I walk over here with the side out and this team has an odd number, it's going to be the start server's partner, the person without the armband, is going to be server number 1. It's not always you're going to walk over and be like this. It depends who's serving when you walk over here. Either the start server's partner or the start server. So that's the third way to use to show you which of the two players is supposed to